This is Susan Bradley for Ask Woody. As you may be aware, we've been tracking the rollout of new Outlook to those of us that still use and love old Outlook. New Outlook is Microsoft's, basically it's a wrapper around a web app. The major drawbacks to new Outlook at this time is interaction with the older COM add-ins, such as those that I use at the office all the time from Sperry Software and certain other vendors. Now, many of these vendors are in the process of moving to new Outlook, but you may still, if you're like me, have some add-ins that are still on that old code and quite frankly work just fine. And furthermore, I've got some situations where I've got a line of business application that still needs that old Outlook interface to hook into and send its emails, and new Outlook won't cut it. So that's why I'm still using old Outlook, and I'm planning to stay on old Outlook. There's other issues where it's not quite in the same parity with old Outlook. For example, PST file support only recently came in, and also import and export options are still not exactly comparable with the old version. So starting with the optional update at the end of January and rolling into the main security update released for Windows 10, they'll be including the code for new Outlook in that Windows 10 security code. Now, what they're doing is they're making it, as they say, on parity with Windows 11. So just like with Windows 11, now I'm on a Windows 10 machine and I've actually installed some of the previews so you can see it. So down here is, as you can see, Outlook and Outlook New. Now, the good news is those two can coexist at the same time. You don't have to move over to Outlook New. Now, if you use a different email client, completely different email client, that also won't take over your email client. So don't worry, it's not going to take over your machine. But if you're not thrilled about having new Outlook installed at the same time of old Outlook, there's a couple of techniques to use to block it. Now, I've seen on GitHub over here a project called Outlook Remover, and I'm not thrilled with how this is working. So I haven't tested it fully because I don't yet have the optional January code yet to test this. But how it describes that it's installing a custom blank app with the same package ID as the original one, making the installation fail. And I look at that and go, ooh, you've got this Windows 10 update that's going to want to install new Outlook. And you've got this workaround saying, oh, I'm going to be there in place, causing the installation of new Outlook to fail. And I'm like, oh, is this going to cause the main Windows 10 security update for the month to fail as well? So that's why I'm like, this isn't my first choice for blocking the installation. There's a lot other installations or methods to block it, including many of them that are supported by Microsoft. And that's why I'm recommending that you use these different ways. So the first way that you can do it is using a registry key, our good old-fashioned friend, Mr. Registry Key. And what's unique about it this time is you've got to add a couple of items in there. So in the default Windows 10 registry key, you'll see that there's this HKey local machine software Microsoft Windows Update orchestrators. So we're to this point right here. But we don't have these subcodes, I'm going to call them for lack of a better, easier term. We don't have these subkeys called scheduler OBE and then this blocked OOBE updaters. And we don't have this bracket / quote MS _ Outlook / quote bracket. That's a unique new thing that we usually don't see things quoted like that, but that is unique to this installation. It's something new. They're obviously using it to block this new installation. And if you're not comfortable with doing this by hand, which I don't blame you one bit, I have this little thing right here said click here. So I'm going to first close out my registry key section, and I'm going to click there, and you're going to see, whoops, I clicked on the wrong one. I'm clicking on the batch file first. I'm going to click here on this registry key, and the registry key is going to say, click on open, and it's going to say, ooh, you sure you want to do this? And you can, it's just this little registry key just like that. So click on run. It's going to want a UAC. It's going to want to say, are you sure? You say yes. And it says it's added those to the registry. When everything is all said and done, it should look like that, where you've got underneath the orchestrator key a OOBE and then a blocked updaters, and it says MS Outlook. Now, don't worry if you get it installed. There is a PowerShell command to remove it. Again, I'll be honest with you, I think if you get it installed, leave it alone. Don't click on it. It won't interfere with what you're doing. But like I said, if you really, really want to block it from the get-go, you can use that first registry key. If you're in a firm environment and you want to use a group policy, you need to download the updated group policy ADMX file and look for disable web add-in installation on migration to new Outlook for Windows. Make sure you put in that information to your group policy. Bottom line, I'm not pleased with how they put this code into a security update. I think it's not a wise move on their part to be putting a what is basically a new rollout of a software that isn't quite comparable to its what it's trying to replace into a security update. I wish it was separate. But know that we can control this. It is not something to worry about. It's controllable. It's ignorable. And like anything in technology, we can always deal with it. Until next time, this is Susan Bradley for Ask Woody.